I'm starting something a little bit new. Besides video games, we are going to go over some magic decks. I will be giving my opinion on some precons versus my suggestions for some upgrades on those precons. And yeah, let's get to it. So today I have a deck box of Bob Ross, but today's commander is Bello. This was the very first Magic Precon that I got, and he is hollow. This is the one that he came with for the Bloomborough set. I have upgraded him a lot, just so it runs a bit better with what he does. So what he does is during the turn, each non-equipment artifact and non-aura enchantment you control with mono value 4 or greater is a 4/4 elemental creature in addition to its other types, and has indestructible. It also has haste, and whenever the creature deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. So what this means is you can have artifacts and enchantments that are mono value 4 or greater, and it becomes a 4/4 indestructible creature on your turn, as long as Bello is out. So for my deck, I included a lot of like mono rocks, but also value 4 or greater enchantments and artifacts. That way I have not just creatures, but creatures that are indestructible. I really worked with having, like, streamlining that. But also, it also works for artifact vehicles. So, you have a vehicle come out, you can't crew it for whatever reason, then you can use Bello and use it for its mono value and make it a 4/4. So also just going based off of this, whenever creature deals combat damage, you draw a card. I included a lot of like double damage stuff. That way these creatures can get boosted, but also deals double damage with anything that I hit. It doesn't even just be only creatures that deal double damage, it's just any damage deals double. So let's get to it with this. So we've got a bit of a rundown of what Bello does, what kind of stuff would be good in the deck. He is of red-green, so green has a lot of card draw and landfall. Red is great for double damage stuff, just based off of what I've seen. It also has, they both have pretty high-end creatures that can come out for not a lot of mana, so we have got, obviously you need lands, so I put a certain amount of lands. I can't remember off the top of my head how many I put. Most of these just came with the precon, so I kept as many lands as I could that came with the precon. I don't remember if I maybe took a tiny bit out and replaced it with different ones or mono rocks or whatever. Like here's one, but this is a 2, so this is just for extra mana, or so I can draw a card whenever I need it. Let's see, got some 4 and 2s. These are just creatures. One's a legendary, one's not, but you can see that they're 6/6s. This one has landfall, so create a 4/4. So it's very much, let's see, this one brings things out. So it's very much just trying to make as many creatures as you can that, even if they're not indestructible, it's something that can be used for that double damage. So let's see, this one has Death Touch, which is great. Let's see. We've got, this one came with the Precon. It has Menace, so that's good too, because your opponent can, if they only have one card to block with, they won't be able to block. This one deals 2 damage to each opponent when you expend 4, so as you spend your 4 total mana cost to cast spells during a turn, then you can do that. When I looked it up, I believe that it said that this can also go towards your 4th total mana cost. I can't remember if that's exactly correct or not, but yeah, so that's that. Dealing the damage. So then if you have that double damage or multiple double damage cards, then it really stacks on. Soul Ring, you have to have the staples. That way you can bring out those higher level creatures, higher mana creatures. Get extra 3/3 in reach. Board wipe. Awesome. Especially because if some of these cards are making tokens, or this, your artifacts and enchantments become creatures, then, it's 1 less each. So easy to use Blasphemous Act. This one I just added. It was not on the Precon. I haven't used it yet. But, it runs on whenever this artifact or other artifacts enter, you get 2 extra energies. If you pay 8, then you take an extra turn. So this is great because if our deck is running on a lot of artifacts, bam, you can get this, you can take extra turns pretty easily. I'm just trying to keep separate all the like artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. That way we can go over it a bit more. See, this one, vehicle, see, artifact, vehicle. Even though it is 7, you can make tokens from it as well. Deals X damage, damage, you want the damage. It also gets a 1/1 for each hamster, so hamster token that you make. Let's see, that's a lot more. Let's see, damage, or also destroy artifact. Sometimes it might be good to destroy your own, but there is a good chance like it would be good just to destroy somebody else's, just to get their thing out if it's blocking your stuff from working the way it's intended to work. 3 mana, paying 4. That's wonderful. 4, you can use it for Bello as well. So this become 4/4, bam. Land, gotta have command tower. Here's another one, but it is a 2, it's just for mana. Here's one, this did not come in the Precon, this is just a mountain that I liked. Replaced it with a different mountain. This one was in the Precon. Non-human creature you control enters with additional 1/1. I do not believe I have any humans in here, so that just works perfectly because any creature I control that enters gets a 1/1 automatically. No maximum hand size. Gotta have some of that. Let's see, that's just land. Here's some more token stuff. Or you can get mana for this. Here's more token stuff. Let's see. Here's another token thing. Non-creature spells, you put 3/1/1 counters on target creature you control. This is an enchantment. This would also work with Bello because it's 6. It's over 4. It also has landfall. So gain that life every time you play a land. That's even more bonus to it. Let's see. Move some things around here. Put this land over here. Gilded Lotus. 3 mana again for 5, so it would work with Bello. Technically another creature. On top of giving mana if you need it. Always needing this, but it's part of the Precon. It's just a staple. An instant, you can never go wrong with dealing damage, especially if it dies, then you can exile it, put that double damage or that stacking damage on top of it, and bam, you've destroyed a high creature, you've exiled a high creature. So, beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn is enchantment. It works for Bello if you need to. And yeah, just doubles the power and toughness. So you've got not just double damage, but you're doubling a lot of things on top. It's just stack, stack, stack. Here's another enchantment. Oh, here we go. Creature you control enters, deals damage equal to power to any target. So, also works with Bello. It's just a saga I kind of threw in just so I can get some extra mana and put some 1/1 counters, kind of boost them. It also mentions about like vigilance, trample, and indestructible. So those creatures that aren't ran by Bello, that don't have anything, you know, they get boosted permanently, but also they end up getting the vigilance, trample, and indestructible until end of turn. So all those, you know, tokens that are not gonna hit very well, you know, they'll end up attacking for damage and it'll be double or triple or whatever stacked on it is. Flying Trample. It's a legendary artifact vehicle. 4. That's what we're looking for. Artifact, enchantment, and more than 4. 4 or more. The thing is, like, we're gonna be ignoring the crewing stuff because, yeah, you can crew in this deck, but that's not how we're running it. This is like just a quick hack to use this. It has flying, it has trample. If it deals combat damage, you sacrifice it. But, so it's like, we have to ignore all of this stuff here because we're not crewing it. But at least it's a 7. Yeah, it's 1, but 7. So, if you decide to crew it. Sorry. A bit confusing, but 4/4 right there. Bam. And even then, like, I'm saying you don't have to crew it, but it's going to be very easy to crew things because we've got 6s. We've got tokens that are making 3s. We've got tokens that are making 4s. We've got creatures that are making 3s. We've got creatures that are making 4s. So even if you want to use that 7 right there, it would be easy to crew. Let's put this at the artifacts. See, here we go. 12/12. Total power and creatures you control. So if you got something that's like, hey, where did it go? The power, double power and toughness. That'll go towards this. You've also got the tokens, as always, go towards this. And it's got trample for the 12/12. There you go. Easy to get out. Easy to hit somebody. And if you have double damage or stacked on damage, that's an easy 24 just for double damage. So, for Greeter, costs 2 less to cast, which is great because we really want to get those higher end creatures out, especially with non-artifacts. So it also gets a 1/1 and gains trample whenever this card attacks. Doesn't have to deal any damage, it's just whenever it attacks. So even if it dies, the other creatures get it until end of turn. So it might be a good sacrifice sometimes, just so you can have a different creature get stuff. But okay, this is kind of an odd one. This one did not come in the precon. It is Bloomburrow, but I liked it because gifting a card is pretty fun. Just changing it up a bit. Gift a card. Promise an opponent a gift as you cast this specific spell. If you do, when it enters, they draw a card. Sounds like fun, yeah? The reason why is because when it enters, if the gift was promised, you destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. So, gift a card to somebody. If it's 1 versus 1, they get a card, you destroy something of theirs. If it's 1 versus 2, give a card to one person that you're on good terms with, destroy somebody else's thing. And it has reach. They have flying, you've got reach. That's why there's some cards in here I like to just have some reach being put in. I don't have a lot of reach. Yeah, I don't have a lot of reach, but still some reach is good, especially if they have flying. Make sure to protect yourself. Other creatures, when this creature attacks, you may have it fight this card. So they can attack this card directly like a planeswalker. So 10-8, people are going to be focusing on destroying the worm. Gives you time to bring out other stuff. Take their eyes away from whatever you're doing. When this leaves the battlefield, though, players draw cards equal to the amount of damage by sources they controlled. So, good for card draw for you, especially if you're pretty low on stuff and you're trying to get things out, or even if you have everything out that you need. If you have that maximum hand size card out, this is great. Because, hey, that's an 8. Really switch up the game a bit. If they don't have any maximum hand size, they have to get rid of cards. This is not in the precon either. This is something I just decided to throw in. Destroy target land, cool. Shake things up a bit. But it also deals 20 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. Another type of board wipe. If you have, beginning of each combat until end of turn. So, you've got this. This would end up dying. But you've got that. Where'd the dinosaur go? Here it is, 12. You go into combat. You double the power and toughness of all your creatures until end of turn. This becomes a 24/24 until end of turn. You attack with it. Yeah, you've got about 4 damage or so to deal with. Play this after. There's a good chance if somebody hasn't blocked or can't block, you've got that 24, or you've got some leeway that this dinosaur will stay alive because it will be more, a bit more than 20. So, either way, good board wipe. Pretty fun. Destroy their land. Shake things up a bit. Never let them know your next move. We have got expend 4. Put a 1/1 counter on this card. So expending, that's really nice because we are trying to, there's a good chance we are going to be spending more than 4 mana each turn. To bring things out for Bello, playing specific sorceries and instants, playing our enchantments, playing creatures. Just for 2. Right there. And you get to boost this specific card. And it gives you mana? Yeah, this is good to bring out, not super early on in the game because you need enough mana to start the cycle, but like still early enough in the game, not the beginning for sure. This is a good card to have in your starting hand just so you have it already on hand. Start boosting it, start getting that extra mana out. That was a land. Oh, look at that. No maximum hand size, once again. So I have more than just one. I think I have 2 or 3 cards that say no maximum hand size because I really want to make sure that if I have to draw cards or if I need to hold on to cards, I have the resource to actually keep it in my hand. Instant, target creature gets 4/4 until end of turn. Not much to say about this. It does what it does. It stacks on the way it stacks on, just as I've been saying. For 2. Not bad. When this one enters, create 2 tokens. So, tokens. Yay! When it attacks, create a token copy that's a copy of target token you control. Yay! Crewing 4. Yay! You know, it's an artifact. 4. You can. It's a 4/4. Just do that. You don't have to crew it if you do that. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, not much to say other than that. It's a vehicle artifact. Sorry, I had to reread something. I'm a bit. You just have to remember your artifacts and enchantments have to be non-equipment and non-auras. That's the only way that it will work. Which is why I'm trying to make sure that it's, vehicles are great for it. Mana ones are great for it, as long as you know you're not going to end up using the mana, because you want to be able to use Bello. Use Bello's ability. You can draw that cards, get them damage. Let's see here. Owner of target permanent shuffles it into the library. Chaos Warp. Very staple. Came in with the Precon. Not much to say. Elemental Barrier. This came in the Precon as well. I was a bit iffy about this one at first. Sometimes I still am, but it works very well most games. So, especially that hideaway. The only downside is the exiling thing. Like, I just sometimes don't want to exile specific cards. But at least it's only, exiling one, put the rest on the bottom, do it 3 times, and then do it three again. So 3 cards and 3 cards, so do it 2 times. Sorry. Then when this card does damage, if there are cards exiled with it, so that card that's exiled, that card that's exiled, play one of them without paying its cost. So you would really want to, that's why I keep this card in here. Not just because it's high attack and defense and trample, but if you have, even if you have enough mana, you can, bring something strong out that you won't have to pay mana for. You can focus on paying mana cost for something else and really throw them off with which card is being brought in from exile. Because it deals combat damage. As long as you've got, it is a 6/5, so this is good just in general, but just to make sure they get that combat damage, you've got the enchantments and artifacts that deal double damage, make it double its attack and defense until end of turn. It's all about synergy. Let's see here. When this enters, create 2 tapped treasure tokens, creating tokens again. Yeah, this one's just all about mana. Sometimes I need the extra mana. You have to pay to get the extra mana, but it comes in handy when you need it most. So, this class deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to each opponent. So as long as treasure was spent to cast a high mana, bam, they get damage equal to them. So that's where that comes into play too. It's a bit, I'm really iffy about this card because I do not like paying to do stuff. Besides the basics, bringing the card in. But, when you're really in it and you've got enough mana because you drew a lot of cards, you have all those mana rocks and artifacts that give you extra mana, you will have enough for this. It will be easy. The only downside is you have to pay separately, so you can't just skip a level. But the good thing is you can gain the next level as a sorcery, so you can do it back to back. You don't have to wait a turn to go back to go to level 3. Oh, and look at that. I forgot to mention, it is a 4, so you can also use Bello with this because it's an enchantment, it's not an aura, and it's not an equipment. Classes work too. Creature. Mana. This came in the Precon. What I do like too is I typically use this card just as a blocker and for mana. What I do like too is you don't have to pay for this specific one where target land you control becomes 3/3 elemental creature with haste until end of turn, and it's still a land. You only activate as a sorcery, so that's not bad. I don't remember though if it dies, if the land goes away or not. I mean, it says it's still a land. People I play with, they're back and forth on it. They're not sure. I haven't exactly looked it up, but let me know in the comments if it would die or if it stays because it's still land. Let's see. We've got more sorceries. Basic land card, gain control of target creature, gains haste, destroy stuff, destroy target artifact, target creature, this one came in the Precon. These two did not, especially you can tell by the symbols here. This came in the Precon. Attacking creatures you control have double strike. See, doubling that is enchantment, it's more than 4. So you can see I really streamlined this stuff. There was a lot more creatures and different types of enchantments and stuff like that was in here. The only vehicle there was in here, I think, was this one. So that's when I was just like, okay, well, this is what I wanted to do. I'm going to make sure that I have enough of everything. I wanted to do these 2 things. So that's what I did. Made sure it can get extra damage. Make sure Bello runs with 90% of everything. And just making sure that things allow me to get mana. That way I can put things out. Let's see, enchant creature. Oh, this one's just fun. I added this one just because it's fun to mess around with people, distract them a bit, enchant somebody else's creature. Yes, it gains 2/2 and it's goated. You can also enchant your own creature that is strong already. it has to attack somebody else. It gains a 2/2, and defending player gets 2 red counters. So, yeah, pretty fun. This is an aura though, so this will not count, and plus it's not more than 4 mana, so. I ended up knocking over my phone. So, I will be holding my phone for a bit. We have got more land, as always. This is nice too because you can pay to have this card become a 3/3. Never attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it. Still land. Cool. Artifact, not more than 4. Gives you mana. Charge counters allow you to add 1 mana of any color for each charge counter removed. So just gives you extra mana more than just 1 at a time, as long as you've got those counters on it. This came in the Precon. I do gotta say, I do not like a lot of lands that say enters tapped. I would prefer to just have, hey, this card comes in, gives you this. But sometimes I will hold on to, if I get this card in the beginning, I'll just hold on to it, wait until I put down a mountain or a forest, basic land technically, and yeah, I have one or the other. There we go. Let's see. Elemental creature. I believe this came in the Precon. I can't remember offhand. Trample, enchantment spells I cast from my hand have Cascade. So, as you can see, we do have, so far, a pretty good number of enchantments, I think. I know it's not as much as artifacts or creatures, but I believe at the very end, I think there's about an equal amount of each. So there's a pretty guaranteed chance that we will be getting enchantment spells. So again, I don't like to exile cards, so even if I don't play an enchantment, it's okay. But sometimes it's worth it. Exile a non-land card that costs less than the enchantment spell that you cast it from your hand. You may cast it without paying its mana cost, but the exile card's at the bottom in a random order. So that's where it's like, yes, it's being exiled, but it's going back into my deck. So if I have something that's going to have me shuffle my deck for whatever reason, then okay, cool. But at least I get to choose which card I want to bring out. No, get me a little bit ahead of the game. Land. Hideaway 4. There's another one of those. You have to pay though, as long as you have total power 10 or greater. So as long as you got those stacking enchantments, that should be pretty easy. Or even just that dinosaur, 10/10. Or sorry, 12/12. The worm was a 10. Let's see. Here's another one of those where you can have it enter tapped if you need it, but I mean, there's a good chance you're already gonna have a mountain or a forest in your hand. So have it in your hand and play this instead. And then next turn play the mountain or forest. Because either way it's gonna give you one or the other. Sorcery. This is definitely not one from the Precon. This is one I added. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, reveal an artifact, creature, or land, and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So if you really are looking for something to get ahead, artifact, creature, or land. Bam, right there. Stuff that we really want to bring out for this deck, you have the option to choose one. The rest goes into your deck. You don't lose it. It just gets placed somewhere else for a while. Choose target creature. Whenever it's dealt damage, deals that much damage to each other creature and each player. Cool. Choose somebody else's creature as you're attacking them. Bam. Right there. You know, you've got that 24 hitting, you know, dealing damage to somebody and exiling or destroying their creature. Instant. Choose that creature. Have everybody take 24. Oh, and even their creatures take 24. I am sorry, but still. Cool. Nice. Wipe them out quickly. Same with the tap things. The only upside to this specific tapped one is I get to scry, so I get to pick and choose if I want the top card or put it at the bottom. I don't really use this specific bottom one, but it's good to have on hand just in case. Especially because I don't remember which card it was, but one of those cards allowed me to gain life through landfall. So it's okay. It's okay. It's a 2 artifact. Mana. Cool. Also gives you mana. 2. This one is expending 8 though. The cool thing about this one, can be a blocker, gives you mana, expend 8, you can target permanent card from your graveyard. So it doesn't have to just be a creature. You know, anything that you accidentally lost, somebody decided to get rid of, an enchantment that doubled stuff, an artifact that gave you mana, or it was a vehicle, return it. Just bring it back. Back to your hand. That worm. The dinosaur that they decided to take so long to destroy. It's back to your hand. Play it again. Creatures you control get 1/0. Great because we really want that extra damage as much as we can. Unfortunately, it doesn't give a +1 here, but you know, damage. This came in the Precon. Some people were surprised that this specific version came in the Precon for me. I am not sure if I was supposed to get this version in the Precon or if this was an accident. But yeah, this is the version I got in the Precon. So +1 to add mana, and creature spells can't be countered this turn. You can also -2 eventually, because you know you're going to be using this a lot, adding a lot of mana. Really prioritize this once you bring it out. Use this for mana, boost that up. Then you can use this multiple times to have a specific creature you control fight target creature you don't control. Yay! And you don't have to worry about combat. You know, just do it before your combat. Or even after your combat when it's already weak. Probably before your combat. That way it's weak when you go into combat. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Artifact. More than 4. Lands have create treasure tokens. Which is great for that, what was it? It was like a saga? That said something about, yeah, see? Level 3. Whenever you cast a creature spell, if mana from a treasure was spent to cast it, this class deals damage equal. So yeah, there you go. Make those treasure tokens. Doesn't have to be a lot, but it's still something to change up the game a bit. There's just some more lands. Instant X damage to target creature. X is 3 plus the number of artifacts you control, which is great because we have got a lot of artifacts. Obviously, we might not have all of these out in one play, but that's, you know, still easy to take these out. And as always, combo it with the enchantments. That double stuff. Here's another enchantment. More than 4. When this enters, put X 1/1 counters on target creature, where X is that creature's power. You know, you've got that dinosaur. I keep mentioning the stronger ones, but it's really crazy to think about when you have the stronger creatures. You've got that 12/12 dinosaur. You put 12 1/1 counters on target creature where it's that creature's power. You've got a 24 without comboing. You combo that 24, you wipe somebody out. Yeah, very nice. It's got trample. Very cool. Do it with that freaking worm. Make them work for destroying the worm. Distract them longer. You've got 6/6s that you can do it to as well. Just really mess with their heads a bit when this comes out. You draw 2 cards if you control the creature with the greatest power or tied for the greatest power. There's a good chance you might be the greatest power on the board or close to. Very good odds, at least when I play it. But guess what? It's more than 4. Use this stuff. Use Bello. Bam. All done. Really make everything creatures. Make everything have double strike. Make everything double damage. Make everything have double the amount of power. Make everything get counters. Don't forget, Bello makes things indestructible. They will stay. Enters battlefield. Gain life equal to the greatest toughness among other creatures you control. Cool. Gain life. Especially for that one land card where if you want to pay 1 life, then to get mana. That's nice. But, you know, protect yourself. Just a tiny bit of life here and there. And especially later on in the game when you've boosted everything, you've got a lot of life being gained. Artifact 7 can be used for Bello. When it enters, destroy target permanent. Then, when this card is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you can return this card to your hand. It doesn't die. And when it enters, you destroy another target permanent. Nice. I think there was a card in here somewhere that said destroy target artifact. At the very beginning, they said you can destroy your own. That's where that can come into play as well if you don't want to destroy somebody else's. There it is. Destroy target artifact. Destroy it. Put it back into your hand. Destroy something else. Unfortunately, I think I only have 1 instance to destroy target artifacts. I don't remember if I have any more in here, but very nice to, you know, do that funny combo. Like, whoops, I'm gonna do it again. SpongeBob meme there. Wanna see me do it again? Creature. Flying haste, 4/4. You wanna make sure you have some reach in flying just to protect yourself from decks that have flying. When it attacks, it gets blank until end of turn. X is the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. So we've got a 7 here. We've got a 6 here. Obviously, that's just a 2, but you know we've got some pretty higher ones. 7, 4. Oops, 6. So yeah, this would gain that much extra power until end of turn whenever it attacks. So you've got chances for it to gain different amount each turn. Also it has expend, but this time it has expend 6. So it's not the expend 4 and it's not the expend 8. But this one allows you to gain control of up to 1 target artifact for as long as you control this hawk. So yeah, there's a very good chance you're going to be spending 6 mana per turn getting those artifacts out, or those creatures out. Take somebody else's artifact. And it's every time you expend during a turn. So each turn that goes by that this card is on the board, they're going to be wanting to destroy this card. They're going to focus on destroying this card because they do not want their artifacts to go bye-byes to you. So, another distraction. Yeah. Whenever another artifact you control enters, you must pay 1. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Which it's going to be easy with all the mana that we have, all the mana rocks that we have. You just pay 1. It doesn't have to be a color. Unfortunately, it's not more than 4, but still nice to slowly boost up this card as long as you while you're bringing in artifacts. So this is a good card to have pretty early on in the game, I think. We have got, whenever another creature you control with power 3 or enters, you draw a card. No, you may draw a card, but there's a good chance we're going to be drawing cards anyways, because why not? As long as you have no maximum hand size. So, yeah. Pretty good card draw. We've got a lot of creatures that have power 3 or more. So that's where this was in the precon. And I've upgraded it to where it can really function all together. It's very rare if we're going to have power 3 or less than power of 3 entering. Even the tokens are going to be 3 and 4s. So I think there's like maybe a couple cards that are 2s, but it's very rare. If you control a creature power 4 or greater, draw a card. So can't work with Bello. This was in the precon, but hey, there's a good chance we're going to be having power 4 or greater that we control. Draw those cards. That way you can boost those creatures up. It gives your creatures trample. And when a creature power 4 or greater enters, you draw a card. So if it didn't have 4 already, you still are able to draw a card. If it had 4 and you also control 4, you draw 2 cards. So, we've got another dinosaur. Attacks. Exile top card of each player's library. Haha to them. Then you may cast any number of spells from among those cards without paying their mana cost. So you take their cards, or you can use your own. Yeah. Attack with this dinosaur. Create 2 treasure tokens. There's those treasure tokens again. Not only will work with that saga that we mentioned before, but the first spell you cast each turn that mana from a treasure was spent to cast has Cascade. So, nice. Yeah. Bring things out without paying its mana cost. So you have land, you're getting land, you're taking cards, you're bringing things out without paying, you're doubling it, you're quadrupling it, you're tripling it, whatever you want to call it. Just stacking, stacking, and stacking. It has indestructible, it has trample, it has haste, sometimes it has flying or reach. It lets you draw cards, it lets you gain life. This one, enchantment, works with Bello. Again, if a creature you control will deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. So that trample deals double damage to the permanent or player, but that trample would work with destroying that permanent, going to the player. So in this instance, I think it would end up doing double damage to player, because regular damage would be destroying that creature or permanent or whatever. But it really depends on the circumstances. It's still a great card because technically double damage. Tapped. Enters, return land you control to its owner's hand. Sometimes you just don't need land, I guess. I don't know. I can't remember. It came in the precon. Sorcery. Search for basic land. Proliferate. We don't have a lot of proliferate in here, which is fine, but other cards say, hey, give this many counters to this, so it's okay. If we already have counters, this is great. We can proliferate them. That rads, if you decided to use it, people have rads, you can proliferate their rads. Just mess things up a bit. Land. And the last card. I decided to add this one. I was hesitant about this card. I did not like it in the Doctor Who set. It just didn't work for me. The timey-wimey. But I find it works very well here. It doesn't work because it's not more than 4, but it gives you mana. You can untap another target artifact. So you decide to use Bello, an artifact with Bello. You tap it to attack. You can pay to untap it, and then you can use it in your second main phase to use it for more mana or something. As an option. There's a whole bunch of different ways why you would want to untap your artifacts. Scry 1, look at the top card of your library, put that card at the bottom, so really just cycling through your deck. Or if you don't want a specific creature to be blocked, you're really strong worm, you're really strong dinosaurs, you're really strong wolves, at that point, that very last one is going to be great once you've upgraded all your creatures or artifacts, whatever, at that point. And yeah, can't be blocked. Just push on through and kill people off. And don't forget, you're going to be drawing cards every time an enchantment or artifact deals combat damage to a player. But yeah. That's Bello. That's how I have upgraded my precon for Bello. You can look up online or through like Mana Box what the original cards for Bello is. There's a lot of really nice cards in this deck. I just felt like it wasn't fully streamlined. It was a bit chaotic, which is fine for some people. I like mine to be not as chaotic because I want to make sure it's doing what I want it to do. So kind of streamed it a tiny bit more. I feel like this is a pretty good set. Like set in stone. I don't really feel like I need to upgrade it anymore. I've gotten to that point where I find a card, I'm like, oh, this would be really cool in Bello. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't have anything I would want to get rid of. It works well for me. People, it's fun to play. It's cute to play. It's a good amount of strength to where people aren't too scared of it. It's not like, oh my gosh, they're playing an Eldrazi. But it's still like, I don't know. But yeah, so let me show you how, before we end here, I'm going to show you how many lands I think this is how many lands were in the Precon. So these are all the non-lands right here. These are all the lands. So about half of everything but lands is land. I think it's like 36, 42 or something. I don't remember how many lands there are. Yeah, that's Bello. I hope you enjoyed this little breakdown of how I have upgraded my cards, how I have made this deck work for me. If you guys have any suggestions or liked these type of videos, please let me know. I can do more. I have other decks that I have worked on that some of them feel a bit more incomplete, some of them feel like solidified and completed, and just the uncompleted ones I can also upload and just get your guys' suggestion on how to fine-tune those decks to what I wanted to do. Get your guys' opinion on top of me providing some ideas, I guess, for good cards that work with specific decks and commanders. Yeah. Thank you for joining. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.